among the many excuses that Donald Trump made for losing the debate last night was the moderator was mean to me. He was so mean. He hit me with the birther thing. Hey, man, he hit me with a lot of questions. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's what happens in a debate, Donald. So they've decided, well, it's gone really, really poorly. So what we're going to do is we are going to go after Lester Holt completely, and we're going to say he was unfair. That's the very typical complaint that the right wing does as soon as there's any fact-checking at all. And Lester Holt did a tiny bit of fact-checking. Bless his heart for doing it. No one is disputing any of the facts. So did Donald Trump do the birther conspiracy where he said Obama was not born in the United States? Absolutely. He even admits that he did that. Has Donald Trump given his tax returns? No. By law, can he share those returns? Yes. Lester Holt asked him a great question because at one point, Trump did a cutesy gambit. He said, well, I'll release my tax returns if Hillary Clinton releases her 33,000 deleted emails. Well, that makes sense. Okay. Look, within politics, that's a fair offer. But Holt followed up with a really good question. But earlier you were saying that you couldn't by law release them. So apparently you can release them, and we're just negotiating over whether you might or might not release them. Oops, that's totally true. So if you're a Trump fan, you know he can release his tax returns. The IRS has said it, and now basically he's saying it. Yeah, I can release them if she gives me those emails. So no, there is no law saying you can't release them. But those are inconvenient. Facts are inconvenient for Donald Trump. So they've got to go after the moderator, and that's exactly what they do here.
She kind of controlled the tempo of the evening. She also had some help, I think, from Lester Holt.
Do you think he got the message from the Matt Lauer, commander-in-chief forum from a couple of weeks ago, where he didn't want that to happen to him, and so he went where Matt seemed to me to be fair and balanced. Lester leaned a little over into the left lane.
I think it was very disappointing last night that Lester Holt, in the wake of an avalanche of scandal and controversy coming out of the Clinton Foundation in her years as Secretary of State, never asked a single question about the Clinton Foundation.
Well, he didn't ask her about the emails at all. He didn't ask her about her scandals. He didn't ask her about the Benghazi deal that she destroyed. He didn't ask her about a lot of things that she should have been asked about. I mean, you know, there's no question about it.
For all the debate about Lester Holt and would he fact-check and so forth, the most aggressive questions from the NBC moderator, the most attempts at fact-checking, and the most interruptions were all aimed at Trump, particularly on the birther issue, on the race issue, and on the tax return issue.
Don't forget, Lester should have brought up the emails. That should have been a question.
And, you know, it was disappointing for me to see Lester Holt not press Hillary Clinton on those issues.
But on the email, the only thing he asked Hillary Clinton was to respond to Donald Trump bringing it up as opposed to crafting a tough question.
John Podesta from her campaign is already saying when you blame the refs, it shows you're losing already. Are you blaming Lester Holt for insufficient performance?
You asked about the next debate. I think that, look, I think Lester Holt did his level best.
So that's Mike Pence's tell. So Hillary Clinton has that awkward smile when she's seething and really angry. She does the Mike Pence, when he gets a tough question he can't answer, he goes, wait, I'm still thinking, hold on. Wait a minute now, hold on a second. Wait a minute, earlier I said Lester Holt was, quote, very disappointing. It's in the video, we just showed it to you. Oh no, he did his level best. So which one is it? Was it very disappointing or did he do his level best? No, you guys are all attacking him because you think you lost. Just answer the questions. Look, I think that their request that, or their issue that Lester Holt did not ask enough tough questions about to Hillary Clinton, that is not an outrageous thing to say. So I'll give him half a point on that. So, if I'm going to ask Hillary Clinton questions, I'd ask mainly about the Clinton Foundation. The Benghazi deal, as Donald Trump calls it, is nonsense. They already grilled her for 11 hours on that. 9 different Republican committees came out and said, well, no, they didn't purposely endanger anyone's lives. And there's nothing actionable here, nothing criminal. And 9 different Republican committees concluded that there was no action to take at all. So that's nonsense, but they could easily have asked about the emails in Clinton Foundation. But when you cry about what he did ask you about, just man up and answer the damn questions. Why aren't you releasing your tax returns? Even your own supporters think you're hiding something. You know why? Because you're hiding something. And why did Hillary Clinton delete the emails? Because she's hiding something. Okay, this is all common sense. The rest of the country knows that the only ones who deny it are partisans. Democrats defending Hillary Clinton and these sad Trump supporters defending Trump. No, he's not hiding anything. I mean, he's a enormously wealthy man who gives a lot of money to charity and has done nothing wrong, and that is why under no circumstances will he share his tax returns with you guys. Now, if all that was true, wouldn't you want to brag about it? Donald Trump, who brags about everything, wouldn't he want to go, here's my tax returns. Just like I said, I'm worth $10 billion and I've given countless millions of dollars to charity. He'd release it so quick, and you go down the list on all those different issues. You can't hide from him. Those are things you've done, Donald Trump. At least have the balls to answer them. If not, please, for God's sake, stop crying already. Young Turks. You power the Young Turks. We do this all through membership. tytnetwork.com/join. Let's build the media that we can believe in.